did we talk about Patrick Swayze? Like his was kind of like talked about. Like it was in the tabloids and the press. Like when he was dying of a pancreatic cancer, I think.
Yeah.
And he was smoking. Like people were judging him. Like well, he wasn't dying of lung cancer. I don't know. Like I'm sure smoking isn't good for any cancer, but I mean, he's already got pancreatic, cancer. Like let the dude smoke.
Yeah, at that point he might have like already known like
Oh,
I'm gonna die. So like, what's the harm in smoking if
Johnny Depp like smoked a shit ton of cigarettes throughout his life. Like I don't know how many, but he was a constant smoker. And he didn't like now he's getting old. We see the difference now, but I mean, I think he like got to 55 looking good. Like that's amazing. That's just what do you call that? I don't know.
I mean, and really, like, I don't know how old he is right now, but he's still not like awful looking or
No, no,
something,
he doesn't have that, youthful look that he had for such a long time.
right?
He just looks older now, but still like jeez.
I heard that Joaquin Phoenix is a big like chain smoker.
I don't get it, man. Like you have so much to lose, especially as an actor, in that position. Like first of all, you could how common is cancer with smokers? Like fairly it's a high rate, compared to
Yeah,
others. And then like you could, your looks and everything, if you smoke too much, they do change. Your teeth get stained. I'm sure there's, things they can do for that. But I mean, your voice becomes deeper. For men, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But I mean, geez.
I mean, it's addictive, man. You know what's crazy is like, um, last month I was watching like a lot of like old like Perry Mason episodes, like the old black and white show, right?
Mhm.
It was shot in like the 50s, and it's so crazy because everybody smoked.
Oh, yeah.
Like every scene, the men in the scene, the women in the scene, they're all lighting up cigarettes, pipes, cigars, like just
They had no
everybody's.
idea. They
Yeah.
had no clue, like, what was happening inside their bodies.
Well, there were even like advertisements back then that made it like almost like think people it was good for you. Like doctors recommend like this brand of cigarettes or whatever. It was
Yeah.
insane. And like
Mhm.
even there's like famously like a Flintstones ad where like the Flintstones are like smoking like Winston cigarettes or something, and
Yeah,
like
I think
every
I heard about that. Yeah. They had, like, flavors for they still have, like, vape flavors, nicotine vape flavors for, like, obviously kids. They're, like, fun, fruity flavors and colorful. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, the whole smoking thing, like, I remember growing up as a kid, like, going to, like, a Denny's or something, like, even in my lifetime, they had non-smoking and smoking sections, and
yeah,
like,
same.
what is that doing? Like, is that really non-smoking is still gonna get that like
Yeah, I remember that because like yeah, we would always sit in the non-smoking section, but like yeah, you were getting that smoke either way, really.
Yeah. Who is such a smoker that they like, okay, Perry Mason times, I get it, they were all doing. But like by the time I was like alive, people knew what smoking was doing to them. And still at a restaurant, how are you even eating and drinking when you're smoking? Like what is going on there? Like how badly do you need to smoke? Oh, I'm in a restaurant. I'm conversing with people. I'm drinking, I'm eating and oh, I just have to have a cigarette now. Like what is that? And plus, you're in an enclosed space. Like it's worse. You just don't. It doesn't feel good to smoke in an enclosed space. Like you want outside air at least.
You know what makes me feel really old is like not only do I remember like the smoking non-smoking section, I remember we had a restaurant that had one of those cigarette vending machines,
Oh right. I don't know if I've
which
seen that. Maybe.
seems like such a like old school thing. Like I think people would even have like their kids and be like, "Hey, go get me a pack of cigarettes out of the machine or whatever." It just seems like crazy now.
Yeah, there was a time where parents would send their kid. I don't know if they still do this, but would send their kids like a few blocks down the street or whatever to like go get cigarettes for them. They'd give them money to go get cigarettes. That's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
before you had to be like, show that you were 18 or whatever.
Yeah, wild times.
I actually, I was actually in. This sticks out to me because I was actually in that restaurant the day they actually removed that cigarette vending machine. I was like, man, it's an end of an era.
Did people cheer or did people get really mad?
I'm sure there was people. I don't know. People probably didn't care that much, but like, I don't know. It was like, it was weird.
End of an era.
It was. It was. It was weird.
Yeah. Uh, And like
I was
his
actually happy when they finally like everybody started like banning cigarettes from
oh yeah.
indoors altogether. I was like, as someone who hates cigarette smoke, I was like, yay, good job.
Especially like those people who have like what do you call that? Respiratory issues? That's nuts that they had to deal with that.
Yeah, you have to feel sorry for like bartenders or just restaurant staff that are the same and hate that stuff, but they're forced to be in it like all day. It's just so
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. It's almost like they're smoking, being around it so much. I remember growing up as a kid, like you would hear like cigarette smoking would stain walls in people's houses. They could turn them yellow.
Yeah.
Like getting exposed to secondhand smoke could still be really dangerous. Like parents who would smoke in their house were still really putting their children in danger.
Also, I remember as a kid just like seeing ashtrays a lot more. Like we had them in our
Oh yeah.
house, and like people would come over and smoke, and we give them an ashtray. And I feel
What do
like
you
you don't
call
see
that?
ashtray. Yeah, yeah,
Cars. Jeez.
yeah. I still see a lot of people smoking in their cars.
Probably, yeah. I mean, is it cigarettes though, or is it something else? Because a lot of people
Well,
have switched over to something else, especially in Oregon.
right. I mean, I see people with cigarettes, but yeah, it's Oregon, so yeah, I'm sure.
um, yeah. I mean, you're not allowed to hold a cell phone in your car, like even if you're like, no matter what. Like I don't know. So smoking and driving, I feel like is that illegal? It's got to be illegal.
Um, I actually don't think it's illegal as long as you're not, throwing it out the window.
Oh, okay, interesting. So you could have something burning in your hand, and that's not illegal. But a
Yeah,
phone, I get it, but to some
because
extent,
the phone, people are actually looking at it.
yeah,
With the cigarette, they're not. It's I'm
true.
guessing the rationale.
Yeah. Like I was thinking, first it was like cocaine and meth that came out, and people didn't know the consequences. They'd give it to their kids as medicine, and they thought it was good for you. Then that got banned. And then cigarettes came along, and it seems like every once in a while a new thing comes out, and there's not enough science to figure out like how bad this is for you. So, I mean, we're starting to get on vapes. We're starting to figure out like how bad vaping is. I wonder what's going to come out in the future.